Welcome and welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. To those that might be new, I'm going to be reading a pre-channeled message from Mr. C and the GA, which is a fractal of Galactic Federation of Light that once was, and also Mr. C, which is Calvin, which is a fractal of an expression of a vampiric energy entity at this time. And you know, with regards to all of this, I'm going to say that this is either your space or it's not, and you're going to have to decide that and use your discernment. But I want to say that today's expression is something that I think many have been understanding somewhere, but not in the full capacities of what is truly happening for you in your expression. So I hope that today's expression allows for you to sink into a space of knowing exactly why you are here and what is going on in your spaces. And I've had the most illuminating week, everyone. So this is why last week's energies and understandings were very peculiar for me in my expression. I felt a lot of energy coursing through me. I filmed it on the new moon over here in the UK, but it felt like a super full moon to me. There was no part of my expression that felt like I was under a dark moon. It was just so illuminating in my spaces, and what transpired in my own personal expression after that was just something that again fractured my whole entire fabric of reality. And I want to say that we are heading for those times, and this channeling is very much a direct expression of that. So please go easy, please go well, please do sit with whether today's channeling is going to be for you or not, because it's not going to be for everyone. But I'm going to hop right in, everyone. And there was no title for this channeling, but Teams of Light started with, thank you all for witnessing. We came today with some news that many may indeed find themselves a part of for some time. We had to be very quiet about what was happening in certain timelines behind the scenes. We can now shed more light about this topic. This soul sat before you had been sent into spaces where she had to be a light in order to trigger others to grow. This was part of the timeline collapse missions we mentioned back in 2024. Many of you in this collective have too been in said expressions. If this message applies, you will know it immediately. We want to go back, take you back to when Calvin spoke of the DNA and that being a specific type, and that being of a very specific type and lineage. So many in this collective have been targeted at birth to make sure that you wouldn't wake up. Because if you were to wake up, your light would be so strong that it would add to the collective field and help wake up the entirety of humanity. This is not a new story. However, we feel many in this collective have been witnessing miraculous and significant expressions play out in your life over the past few months to target a time frame. This is because your soul chose to wake up now. You chose to say yes and be part of all that is to come next. The fragments of your reality that you once knew are now slipping away. Those that have been feeling drowsy, random nausea, tired for no reason, why dreams seem to make more sense in your waking life, welcome to 5D and Christ consciousness. The idea that heaven can be on earth is very real and true. You are making ways to help create this to be more of a reality for all. So our message to you today is to not give up hope, especially now you're on the cusp of something miraculous. Each soul that witnessed this, we had to be sure that you were ready and that you were able to stand strong under all manner of judgment, lack of belief in you and your vision. Much like the expression that was once told upon Jesus in the Bible, is it all starting to make sense to you yet? We will come back to this at a later date, but for now, take each day in the present, be mindful, not mindless, be intentional and listen to what your body is telling you. We are communicating with you at a much deeper capacity. We know that you have felt it. We shall be back with more when the time is right. However, there has been much that other souls needed to share in order for even more timelines to be closed and the new pathway to be open for us all. Take care for now, dear souls. We shall see you in your dreams. And I want to say that we're in a real strange space of expression, everyone that isn't here in this collective, because I very much felt like I was in a complete splitting of realities. And this is not the first time you've heard me say this, but it is such a capacity that it's very difficult to try and put into words exactly what is happening, because somewhere we haven't got a complete and consolidated expression, but also this is going to be bound by the understandings of yourself and soul and how you perceive your life, how you perceive yourself, and how you perceive in the world around you. And what I'm starting to see is that I'm truly bringing forward a new aspect of myself and soul that is going to be made aware in the most recent weeks to come, everyone. So there has been a tilting of the axis of my own energy, my own expressions, but also what is happening with regards to the collective energy. I've been sinking into that space too and seeing where this has been a true representation for so many in their life paths and their understandings also. So I want to say, please make sure that you are looking after yourself at this time, because there is a lot that is happening behind the scenes that is directly affecting us, but it's also allowing for you to slip away from old fractals of your expression that you no longer need. And I feel like there might be some time before we're stepping into the new full vibrations of self and soul, but we you're already on that trajectory. So I think this is why Teams of Light wanted us to be real cautious about how we are moving forward in our spaces, but to be also very mindful about how we are moving forward and what that feels like for us in this present given time. And it almost feels like there is a new reality that feels more real than anything that I could possibly put into words. And I think many of this collective are going to understand what I say, what I mean when I say that. So please do just be present with yourself. Please do make sure that you are looking after what is needing to take precedent in your life right now, and however that looks for you, please know that there is no shame around that. You know, whether this is a very 3D expression, whether this is a very 5D expression, or anything else in between, beyond yonder, whatever that looks like for you, whatever is in your present time for you to be healing and for you to be focusing on, is very much there for a very specific reason. And I can't go into too many details about my life at this time, but what I want to share is that if I ever doubted my expression to be true, things have happened in the most recent week that has completely allowed for me to see that wherever I'm placed, at whatever time, I'm supposed to be there, and it's not by my hand that I'm guided there. So when things feel strange, when things feel like I'm not sure why I'm doing this, but I feel called to, please do listen to that expression of course, good of all, harm to none, with regards to that. But I think so many in this collective have been so highly directed and guided to be in certain spaces of your life right now that sometimes it feels just very strange for you to be there. But trust that whatever is being made aware to you, it's because you were supposed to be there for very specific reasons. And perhaps this is not just to help you, this is to help others in your expression. And it's been incredibly challenging for me because I know that I've had to be a light in such a dense space where I find myself energetically and in a multi-dimensional space of that. So what seemed very 3D in some expressions I knew has been very 5D in the parallel somewhere, but there was many around me that just couldn't see exactly what was happening. So I've been really having to, tighten up my own bootstraps and just really stand strong in my convictions of what I know in my heart to be my truth, and knowing that I'm on the right path that was directed directly for me. So I want to say, please know, if you are in your spaces and it feels chaotic, trust yourself, trust why you are there, and trust that everything that you need, the answers that you need, are going to be made aware to you. And then last week, so many questions that I've had over the space of about a 5-year path has just been completely brought to a full illumination. And I thought, this is what I needed. These are the keys that I needed to set myself free. This is the expression that I needed to fully understand exactly where I was placed in certain understandings. And now I see the full truth in its entirety. And it was shocking. It was sad. It was really downright diabolical somewhere. And I think for the longest time I was fighting myself because it just felt like too big of an expression to bring forward in my present reality. But I see the truth and I know the truth, and I want everyone to stand in their full convictions of what they know to be their truth in this present given time. So please go easy, please go well, but know exactly where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. But I'll be back when the wind takes me, is what I want to show. It's been very windy in the UK, and it felt like there's been a lot of expression that has just been washing away a fabric of reality that need not be in our present given time. So watch out for the weather, everyone, is what I want to share, because that was definitely a Freudian slip in my expression brought forward by Teams of Light. But trust your spaces, trust where you're being led. And it was just a bird that flew directly past the window super quick, so that's also another confirmation for some in their spaces. But please go easy, please go well, and I'll be back real soon when the times align. Take care.